Anyway, welcome back guys. We're just going to be harvesting the compost bin today. We've had quite a number of windy days, really hot days, and had a bit of a storm last night, so today is not too bad a day. So I just think my compost is ready. I'll just get it all sifted out and get to use it on the garden finally. And I do have my second bin going here. It's great to see the snails in here living abundantly. Yeah, quite a number of those. Better get those under control first. So I'm just going to try and do something a little different today. I'm going to just scoop out, take this off, scoop it out, put it through my little sifters. Anything big, worms, whatever, can go straight into this bin here. So save myself a little bit of work by instead of being too pedantic about sifting it. And that's what I'm left with. And if you can look just in here, there is plenty of worms just there. So I'll be able to just scoop those ones off straight away. And I'll pop those straight into this bin here. Quite a number of worms. There'll be a fair few in here actually. This is they love breeding in here, and they do generally get a lot fatter and juicier than the worm farms that I have. So, alrighty, I might just start scooping in. So get some lovely fine grade compost down the bottom here, and all these big twiggy pieces and bits of food that might not have quite broken down, they can go straight into the second bin there. I'm not going to fuss around too much today with this one. So this is actually dry enough to sift very easily. I mean, you're going to get pieces of plastic and bits of twine and stuff, but I'll just chuck it all in that bed there and pick all that up later. There's just lots of just twigs and bigger pieces and stuff that still needs to be broken down. So I'll pop that straight back into this one over here. And it is quite important to keep checking in on your compost bin, because if it has shrunk down too much, what can happen is it can compact down the rest of the material and it'll just take longer to break down. So it's really a good idea to aerate your bin at least once a week, and just to fluff it up, put more oxygen in it, add more water if necessary, and that'll just give it a nice environment. And if you're lucky enough, you might get all your worms to move in there as well. So you might notice, like when you fill up your compost bin, it's always, it gets filled up right up to the top, and then you might move over to start filling up another one. And then after a month or so, you'll go back in and you'll have a look at it and it's reduced right down. That's actually a really good indication that the microorganisms are breaking down that organic matter. And as you can see, there's it's this beautiful, soft compost. You can use this as a seed raising mix, but we also use it to top up some of the garden beds. It's just amazing. This was once food scraps, paper, cardboard, leaves, some twigs, not that one, but just light and fluffy. And if I want to make a super fine compost, I could just put it through this one here, which is a bit finer grade. That would be really good for seed raising mix. And it just leaves that little bit extra, just a little bit coarser stuff behind there. So when you're adding material to your compost bin, it's really best to have them chopped into smaller pieces, so that the larger surface area, which makes it easier for the bacteria to actually break them down. So just imagine you put in a whole carrot bacteria only can go around the outside of that piece of carrot, whereas if you chop it up into smaller pieces, that bacteria covers each tiny little piece, so therefore that's going to break that down much quicker than a whole carrot. Just give the whole thing a bit of a shake. Just make it really fine. I mean, it's already fine now, but just want to make it super fine for them. Just makes it easier for them to grow. They don't have to struggle too much to get through the surface or any other little obstacles. And I've also just mixed in some wetter soil too, just to help it to penetrate through. Let the water get right through in there. Okay, so got a few seed cells there. So before I do anything, because this was kind of fairly dry, that's why I put wetter soil on it. I'm just going to give these cells a little bit of water just to dampen them all up, and just to make it nice just before I put the seeds in. I know a lot of you YouTubers are having winter where you are. Summer here, yes, can be quite challenging, especially when it gets really windy and hot. Everything just dries out very quickly. You really have to be onto it when you can, if you've got the time. I don't always have time, but I'll just try and garden as best I can. So in each one of these, I'm going to put some radishes in these ones, because I don't seem to have much luck with radishes in the ground. So I think always seems to eat them, or they just don't get very big. So, and I can sow just these French breakfast radishes. I can sow these all year round where I am, so I'm going to give these ones a whirl, and I can just leave them in the pot and might get a better result out of these. I'll just put a couple in each little hole. Instead of covering them over, what I will do is I'll just get my vermiculite, very lightweight stuff, and you can just sprinkle this over the top of your seeds, and they will be able to get through the top of the soil. I'll just poke them down a little bit, get through and grow much easier than if you put like a potting mix soil straight over the top. And so this one here, I'm going to actually pop in a few more leeks. Last four, I'm just going to put in some lovely cosmos. I think cosmos is a beautiful flower. So I find a nice warm spot for them. I'm not going to have them out in direct sunlight all day. Maybe a little bit of shade in the afternoon would be good for them. And I've just popped the other one down in here next to the underground worm feast. So nothing's sort of growing at the back there at the moment, so that'll be a nice little spot for them. So I've also dotted the radishes just around in some of the garden beds, so we'll see what pops up again in different spots in the garden. But yeah, some of those in the seed cell trays, we'll see how those ones go. Might be able to get bigger ones and yeah, not attacked by whatever attacks them. They seem to attack the leaves and leave all these pinholes in the leaves. So I'm just going to give this a good drink. So it was pretty dry, and this will be my new compost bin, this one, and I'll keep adding to this one before I start adding to that second one. And I think most of the worms must have moved across there because I really didn't see any. So they're probably all at the bottom of this one.